Live from the CSI Sports and Recreation Center at the campus of the College of Staten Island. The CSI Dolphins women's volleyball team is getting set to take on the Brooklyn College Bulldogs in an important CUNYAC tri-match here at the Sports and Rec Center. Game one of a triple header here this afternoon at the Sports and Rec Center between the CSI Dolphins and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Game two, a little bit later on, will feature Brooklyn against Medgar Evers College. And then later on this afternoon, it will be Medgar Evers College versus the College of Staten Island, the whole school. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Pizzuto. I will be joined a little bit later on in the broadcast by Michael Cohen, who will bring us games 2 and 3 as well. But for now, we're getting set for game one here between the Dolphins and the Bulldogs. Like we mentioned, a huge game with playoff implications on the line. Both of these teams have played either 4 or 5 games so far within the CUNY Athletic Conference, and only the top 6 teams will make the postseason tournament. And right now the Dolphins are sitting in sole possession of 4th place with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. And Brooklyn is only 1/2 game behind with a record of 2 wins and 3 losses, but they are in a 3-way tie for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. So obviously, doing the math, one of those 3 teams that are tied for a 2-3 record at this point would be on the outside looking in of a playoff berth. So obviously, a Brooklyn College with a win today against CSI would leapfrog over the Dolphins in the standings. And of course, if the Dolphins can beat Brooklyn here on their home turf, then they would improve to 3-2, and they would send Brooklyn spiraling out of the playoff picture at 2-4. So a huge game with playoff implications. And then at the end of this game, both of these teams will be facing Medgar Evers College. Medgar Evers comes into this afternoon's competition a record of 1 win and 17 losses, and they are winless in the conference at 0-3. So Brooklyn and CSI both heavy favorites against Medgar a little bit later on today, but this is the game, probably the featured game of the afternoon, and it will be CSI against Brooklyn. So for the Dolphins coming into this one, they come in with a record of 4 wins and 9 losses this season. Like we mentioned, they're 2-2 in conference play. They are coming off of a tough loss against Mount St. Mary, 3-0 here at the Sports and Recreation Center on Wednesday of this past week. The Dolphins were competitive for the first 2 sets there, and then, of course, the wheels fell off a little bit in the 3rd set. The Dolphins ultimately taking a 3-0 loss at the hands of Mount St. Mary. Coming up for Staten Island will be another triple header against against William Patterson and Sarah Lawrence College. That will be on Saturday, but this is the Dolphins' only conference game until they face off against Hunter College, which is 10 days from today. And, of course, they will finish up against Baruch as well. So for the Dolphins, these are 2 very important conference matches before, of course, they wrap up the season against 2 of the more dominating powers in the CUNY, Hunter and Brooklyn. Hunter and Baruch this season are 1st and 3rd in the standings. So the Dolphins are going to have a big test in the CUNY coming up. So these are 2 winnable games for the Dolphins. They know that coming in, and they need these 2 wins here on their home court especially. For Brooklyn College, they come in with a record of 4 wins and 13 losses. They're 2-3 in the conference, as we mentioned, and right now in a 3-way tie for 5th place with both CCNY and Lehman College. Brooklyn College coming into this game, they are led by the attacking of Serena Rozek. Rozek with 95 kills this season leads the team, and then you have Christiola Butler, who has 87 kills this season as well. But Serena Rozek is the player to watch for Brooklyn. She's got 40 aces on the season as well. And defensively, she's also pretty stout as well with 237 digs. She is Brooklyn's best defensive player as well. For the Dolphins, players to watch tonight will be their leading attacker, Siobhan Granich, the senior. She has 80 kills this season. She's also among the leaders in service aces with 22. And then you have Vanessa Reyes, who has 68 kills, 12 behind Siobhan Granich, and she's second on the team with 24 service aces. Sandy Mila is the team leader in aces with 25. She's also posted third on the team with 49 kills. And defensively, the Dolphins will funnel a lot of it through Victoria Wong. Wong, the two-time CUNYAC Libero of the Week. She is well ahead of the field with 212 defensive digs. Siobhan Granich is the closest to her with 106 in second place, so exactly half the amount of digs that her teammate Victoria Wong has as well. So those are the players to watch. We are about 6 minutes or so away from the first serve here from Brooklyn, from Staten Island, where CSI will face Brooklyn. So what we will do is we will step aside, take a short break. When we come back, we'll have our keys to the match. It is Staten Island versus Brooklyn College coming up next here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Stay with us.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our world.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We are live here at the Sports and Recreation Center, the campus of the College of Staten Island. We are just a few minutes away from our first serve between the CSI Dolphins and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. A key CUNYAC test here right in the heart of midseason with the CUNYAC playoffs just a few weeks away. The starting lineups have been set, so we'll go over those first here as we have about 3 minutes to go before we get our official intro started and the national anthem here live from CSI. The Dolphins will go with number 3, Siobhan Granich, number 7, Vanessa Reyes, number 12, Sandy Mila, number 14, Angelica Paulino, I should say. Number 17 is Alexandria Bauchi-Ansa. She will make the start along with number 18, the Dolphins setter, Jessica Cafiero. And the libero for the Dolphins will be number 10, Victoria Wong. For Brooklyn College, they will go with number 2, Monanith Penn, number 6, Christiola Butler, number 9, Helen Lau, number 13, Serena Rozek, who we mentioned, number 15, Jillian Paredes, and number 16, Francesca Locascio will also be in the game as well. Crystal Wu will be wearing number 3 and playing as well. What we will do is we will step aside one more time. When we do come back this time, we will have the national anthem played, and then we'll get our game underway here live from the College of Staten Island. It's the CSI Dolphins versus Brooklyn College. It's coming up next.
I'm a scientist.
recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you.
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you. Freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a key?
Go.
And we welcome you in here to the start of CSI versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn has accumulated a 3-2 lead as we had technical difficulties getting our picture up, but now should be all set. CSI with a return on Brooklyn's end. And they will attack as well onto CSI side. Cafiero bumps up to Mila and dug out cleanly by Paredes. Sent over, and we have a whistle for a blocking violation. And that'll be on number 7, Vanessa Reyes, called for the illegal block. So the Bulldogs now double up on the Dolphins, 4-2. And an ace for Brooklyn gets them off to a nice solid start. Now 5-2. If you're the Dolphins, you do not want to fall behind early to Brooklyn. Brooklyn with 4 wins on the season, 13 losses. They're looking for some confidence. Bumped up and over by Mila. The bump up by Brooklyn, and now the attack down, and it is completed by Rozek. Serena Rozek, team leader in aces, kills, and digs for Brooklyn, having a tremendous season. And the Bulldogs have now tripled up on the Dolphins, 6-2. Dolphins played clean. And now up in the air for Reyes. She sends one towards the back line. Brooklyn cannot catch up to it off of the initial touch by Paredes. And so the Dolphins get a critical 3rd point here to cut Brooklyn's lead in half. It's now 6-3 as Vanessa Reyes gets credit for the kill. Wong with the serve, one of CSI's better servers, bumped up by Paredes and sent over by Rozek. Reyes bumps up to Cafiero, and now over by Paulino, and Paulino manages to put one right in the corner for the kill. So nice job by Angelica Paulino, one of CSI's promising young first-year players that head coach Jason Madsen is very excited about. Dolphins have now cut the Brooklyn lead to 2, 6-4. Wong gets into one, sends it back line. Bumped up by Penn and sent over by Rozek. Reyes plays over to Mila up. Brooklyn able to keep it in play and sent over by Crystal Wu. Straight up to Mila. Mila taps it down. Rozek got a hand on it, but that'll count as a kill. So the Dolphins with 3 straight points have now cut the lead to 6-5. Once again, if you joined us late, critical CUNY matchup between CSI and Brooklyn. CSI leading Brooklyn by 1/2 game in the standings. Brooklyn just one more game in the loss column. Cafiero bumps up to Reyes. Reyes teases it over, and it's bumped right back over to CSI side. Now this is Paulino getting up, dug out cleanly by Brooklyn, and we're going to have a ball handling error as that will be called, I believe, against Jaylene Paredes. And so Brooklyn has come all the way back. Staten Island has come all the way back on Brooklyn. 6-6 now is our score. Nice serve by Wong, right over. And the Dolphins try to send it right back with Mila, but she just misses it. Couldn't clear the tape, and it's now 7-6 Brooklyn. And we'll have our first substitution here of the game as Brooklyn will enter number 10, Brianna Montana. She will replace Paredes. Back line played cleanly by Wong, and Reyes sending it over and manages to just get it over. Now Brooklyn with a heavy kill attempt, but it's just outside of play by Lacasio. Lacasio, a senior from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. CSI will have the serve here with the score 7 apiece. Vanessa Reyes will be the server for the Dolphins. Reyes second on the team in kills, also pretty good from the service line. Bumped up by Brooklyn, and Rozek puts one into the net. So a attack error for Selena Rozek, and the Dolphins have an 8-7 lead. They were down 6-2, so the Dolphins now on a 6-1 run of their own here. Reyes puts one back line, bumped up and sent over by Lacasio. Dug out cleanly by the Dolphins. Mila getting up, and it cannot clear the tape as we have another tie game, our third one at 8-8. Another substitution here as entering the game for Brooklyn is Helen Lau from Millennium High School in Manhattan. And that one sent over the line by Rozek. So Rozek with an unforced error that time via the serve. And that will give service over to Sandy Mila. Mila, you can make the argument, CSI's best server, 25 aces this season, 17 serve errors as well. Lacasio sends one long again. So the Dolphins with a 10-8 lead, courtesy of an 8-2 run here. And Mila continues with the serve. Mila playing in her 44th set. That one sent over. So again, Mila with those 25 aces, but also leads the team in serve errors as well. And this will give the ball back to Francesca Lacasio off your screen. She has 29 service aces, a very good server. That one sent straight over and into CSI territory. Dolphins are able to put it over the net. The bump up and the attack, but too long there by Montana. So Montana this season with 51 kills is third on the team, but she also has 52 errors, and there was one of them right there. So the Dolphins back up by 2. Paulino with the serve, dug out cleanly by Rozek. Sent over once again by Brooklyn. Nice clean dig by Mila. Siobhan Granich puts one over, another dig clean. And Lau putting one over and drops it in between the front and back lines. And so Brooklyn now cuts the lead to 1, 11-10. And we'll see Paredes check back into the game for Brooklyn. And Paredes will be the server. She has 24 aces and 10 service errors this season. And she sends that one cross court. Nice bump up by Mila. Siobhan Granich is going to have a turn at it. Nice block down, and that will be a block assist registered to Butler and Penn on the play. Penn with 10 total blocks this season and Butler with 10 as well. Both lead the team, and there's another one credited to them. Paredes will do the serving. Short serve, and it comes over to us by the scorer's table. And Brooklyn has taken the 12-11 lead after falling behind 10-8. They now have a 4-1 run of their own here. Paredes will be the server. Serving from just in front of her own bench. You'll see her come into your screen. Back line, and that'll be an ace for Paredes as Brooklyn has taken a 2-point lead. And for Paredes, that is her 25th ace of the season. She's third on the team in that department. Rozek has the team lead with 40. And she's been putting them across the court as well in the direction of Reyes and Siobhan Granich, who are back there for the Dolphins. This one will end up to Mila, dead center. Cafiero bumps up to Granic. Granic tried to drop one in, blocked down initially, sent over by the Dolphins, but too many touches for CSI as Bauchi Ansa guilty of the error. So the Bulldogs back up by 3 here, 14-11. This game has swung back and forth. Brooklyn had an early 6-2 lead. Dolphins took the lead 10-8. And now Brooklyn has matched their biggest lead of the game, and CSI is going to call a timeout. So the Dolphins, who were down 6-2, managed a 10-2 run after that to take an 8-2 run after that to take a 10-8 lead. But since then, Brooklyn has scored 7 of the last 8 points against the Dolphins, and they've taken a 4-point lead, 15-11 here. Coming up after this game, it will be Brooklyn taking on Medgar Evers College. That game we will also have for you on CSI Sportsnet. And then later on this afternoon, it will be CSI taking on Medgar. Medgar coming into tonight's action 1-17 on the season, 0-3 in the CUNY Conference. And the storyline in this for this afternoon is that only 6 of the top 9 teams in the CUNY make the playoffs. And these two teams are definitely on the bubble. The Dolphins right now are in 4th place with a 2-2 record. Brooklyn is tied for 5th with a 2-3 record. But obviously a Brooklyn win over the Dolphins would leapfrog them over the Dolphins in the standings. And if CSI is able to win this game, it would really put them comfortably ahead of Brooklyn in the standings. So a big swing game for both teams. Meanwhile, Paredes has been on a roll here. That one goes towards the back line, dug out by Reyes. Granic puts one over, dug cleanly and sent over by Brooklyn. Nice play. Cafiero to Bauchi Ansa, and she puts one over the front line for the kill. So the Dolphins stop the bleeding here, and they are now down by 3. The server will be Jessica Cafiero. Cafiero with 10 aces this season, 4 errors. And that one will be an ace there, as Cafiero registers her 11th ace of the year, and it cuts Brooklyn's lead to 2. Cafiero serving just about from center of the court. Bumped up cleanly by Brooklyn, sent down. Nice block by the Dolphins, and it'll be a point as a block error on the Bulldogs. Cuts the lead to 1. But that was a nice job by Granic and Bauchi Ansa to get up and get the block. And Cafiero will serve for a 3rd straight time. Gets into one back line, bumped up, Pan with it. Rozek put one over, Dolphins play clean. Siobhan Granic tried to baby one over the blocking front of Brooklyn, but couldn't get it over, so 16-14 will be the score. Brooklyn with the lead. And service will go over to Helen Lau. Lau, 6 aces, 3 errors from the service line this season. Dolphins have trouble with it, and that will be registered as another ace. So 7 on the year now. Makes it 17-14, Brooklyn back up by 3. Lau with another line drive serve, nice one. Dolphins again forced to just send it over. Brooklyn regains the offense. Running kill, and a beauty at that by Christiola Butler. Butler coming in with 87 kills on the season, and despite the fact that she does not have the lead in kills, she does have the lead in attack percentage. 88 kills next to just 47 errors. Sent over, and once again, hitting it down was Butler, but this time the Dolphins play well. And Brooklyn takes control. CSI playing back and forth here. The team send it over. And nice play by Rozek to drop one in over the attacking line. And Brooklyn has their biggest lead of the game for either team, 19-14. 5-point lead. Prior to that, Brooklyn led by 4 twice. And now Brooklyn has taken big control over this one. 20-14, the Dolphins call their 2nd and final timeout. So CSI had themselves a 10-8 lead at one point, but since then, it has been all Brooklyn. They are on a 12-4 run and have taken control here of this first set, 20-14. Dolphins kind of scrambling to get to some loose balls in their end, especially off of the service. And that's really what has bothered the Dolphins in this first game, is that they really haven't been able to muster up their attack. They've kind of been scrambling instead, playing defense most of the way. Brooklyn is back onto the court. The Dolphins are taking their time here with 30 seconds left to go in the timeout. Dolphins at 4-9 this season. They had snapped a lengthy 4-game losing streak earlier with a win over York back on September 27th. Then they lost 2 straight, broke up that with a win over Old Westbury. But following that win over Old Westbury on October 1st, they fell to Mount St. Mary on October 5th. And now the Dolphins looking to get back in the win column. So Lau will have the service. Lau has had limited action this season. This is only the 28th set she is playing in. Cafiero bumps up to Reyes, blocked down. CSI kept alive, and they cannot get that one over as Bauchianza put one into the net, hit it twice, and Brooklyn now with a 7-point lead, their biggest of the match. Lau sends one over. Cafiero puts one over. That's dug out. And that one touched by the Dolphins on the front line. And so the Bulldogs now with an 8-point lead, 22-14. So Helen Lau still with the service. She gained it with Brooklyn up by 4. They've since scored the last 4 points to double up their lead. Granich sends one over. Scrambling to get down is Pan. She makes the play. Dolphins a little late getting to it, scrambling once again defensively. And Brooklyn goes in control offense. Butler with the attack, dug out clean. Siobhan Granich, and that one is out, just out of play. And Brooklyn now putting the finishing touches on this one. They're up by 9, 23-14. Another missed play off the back line forces the Dolphins into defense mode. The best they can do is send it over. Rozek with the attack, and that one's out of play, not touched by the Dolphins, so Dolphins will regain it. And a substitution here. Brooklyn will bring in Diana Perlatance. And that one's out of play, so sent right over with the serve is Granite. So game point here for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. And they will take Crystal Wu now behind the line. Wong plays clean. Cafiero has to bring up ground once again. CSI sending it over. And Lacascio kills that one down. So Brooklyn pulls away late and takes a 25-15 winner in our first set. So Brooklyn goes up 1-0. What we will do is we will step aside here live from the Sports and Recreation Center. When we come back, it'll be set number 2, Dolphins down by 1. Stay with us.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Love is love.
This is why you took the second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that, we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Welcome back here to CSI Sportsnet's coverage of CSI Women's Volleyball. The Dolphins are down 1-0 in terms of sets played. They had themselves a 10-8 lead in that first set, ended up losing 25-15. So you could do the math. The Dolphins were outscored 17-5 to end that first set, and they were not crisp at all, especially coming out of the service where they've scrambled and were forced to just send balls over rather than really get their offense in motion. So the Dolphins need to regroup here. They played well during the early stages of that first set. Both of these teams with just 4 wins on the season. The Dolphins are 4-9. Brooklyn has played more matches at 4-13. Jessica Cafiero will have the first serve here of set number 2. She sends it over. Brooklyn plays. Weak attack attempt. Dolphins are able to play it, and Mila sends one over. Nice job by Sandy Mila as she registers the first kill of the second set. 1-0 is our early score. Cafiero. Bumps one up. They continue to play. And now we have a 1-1 game here. So Brooklyn is able to get back here, as Paredes will have the serve. She was a big part of that Brooklyn run that got them a lot of distance here. We'll see what she could do on this serve. Cafiero bumps one up to Granich. Granich cross-court kill attempt, dug out nicely by Paredes. And an attack error that time on number 9, Helen Lau. So the Dolphins have themselves a 2-1 lead. Granich will have the serve. Brooklyn scrambling a bit. Rozak with a nice cross-court kill, and Cafiero on the run could not handle, so it's 2-2. And Brooklyn will regain the serve as we have a substitution here. Partially screened on the play, but Kennedy High will come into the game for Brooklyn, and she will be the server. With this score tied at 2, back line played well by Wang. The pass to Cafiero over to Mila. Mila cross court, dug out by High. High with the kill attempt from the back line, dug out by Wang. Cafiero to Mila. Mila cross court, and not able to play it was High, so she's been eventful since coming into the game, but the Dolphins able to register the kill and take the early lead 3-2. And it will be Victoria Wang as the server. Wang came into today with 18 aces next to 11 serve errors. That one sent straight up by Wu. And unfortunately that time Butler could not complete the play. She was off balance when she tried to kind of backhand that ball over. The Dolphins have matched their biggest lead of the match, 2 points, 4-2. Wang cross court. Was played by Paredes. The give to Butler. Butler with a nice putback, but dug out by Cafiero. Brooklyn has problems controlling and are able to send it over. Nice job by Brooklyn with that play. And then Mila puts one up, but it's blocked down. Nice block that time by Penn and Butler, who went up for it. gives service back to Brooklyn, and they will have Crystal Wu serving. Wu puts one up, serves it over to Mila. Mila with the pass to Cafiero, and the Dolphins, Paulino, just sends it over. Brooklyn, and that is going to be a whistle against Brooklyn College, an attack error, as going into the net was high. And it gives the Dolphins a 5-3 lead with Reyes, the server. Reyes came into the match with 16 service errors. That one is number 17, next to 24 aces. Substitution here for Brooklyn College, as coming in is number 12, Lucy Yazakova. And that one is in, as Siobhan Granich let it go, but it did hit the back line, so a service ace for Penn, who came into the match with 9 aces this season. That was number 10. And we have a tie score, 5-5. Penn puts that one over. Granich plays clean right at the tape, and Brooklyn able to just send it over. An easy kill that time for Locasio, as Granich misplayed the service. So the Bulldogs with the lead here, 6-5 after falling behind 5-3. Mila plays to Cafiero. Backline attack by Reyes, looking to find space, can't do it. Brooklyn keeps control. Locasio out of play. So that gives the ball back to the Dolphins. 6-6 is our score, with Mila doing the serving. Again, good server, Sandy Mila this season, but she did have an ace and an error in the first game, and that one hits the back line, and it was in. Little gun shy was the lines judge that time, but that one was definitely in play. 7-6 will be our score, as Mila registers another ace for the Dolphins. That one drops in. Played cleanly by Brooklyn. Going up is Locasio. Wong digs it out. Cafiero to Mila. Mila tries to drop one over. Dug out by Penn. Sent over by the Dolphins. They keep it in play. Can they get it over? No, they cannot, as the Dolphins were sent scrambling, and we have another tie game, 7-7. And looks like Brooklyn will send in Helen Lau again. She will replace High. And it will be Rozek with the serve here for Brooklyn. Near side, puts one over. Wong plays clean. Cafiero back over to Wong. Backline attack, dug out clean by Lau. Sent up, across, dug out by Reyes. Cafiero the pass to Mila. Backline attack. Wu digs it out. Give over to Penn. Sent over, dug out by Mila. Cafiero to Granich. Granich plays one over. Another dig for Brooklyn. Offensive play now. Lau sends it up. Played clean by the Dolphins. Wong to Granich. Nice attack and a nice dig by Wu. Now Rozek backline attack. Dug out by Wong. Siobhan Granich puts one over. Dug out by Wu. Penn puts one up. Brooklyn scrambles, sends it over. Cafiero to Granich. Granich tries to drop one over. Nice dig by the Bulldogs. Sent over by Lau. Dolphins getting to it. Cafiero bumps up for Paulino. Paulino back line, dug out by Rozek. Now sent over, another dig by the Dolphins. Here's Granich, another one off of Wong, and it's out of play. Great point, won by the Dolphins. By far the longest volley of the game for both teams. 8-7 is our score, and Paulino will be the server. Angelica Paulino, 2 aces this season, 4 errors, and Wu plays it oddly, but it's sent over. Dolphins continue to play, and Cafiero cannot control at the front of the net, so it's 8-8 our score. And the server will be number 16, Francesca Locasio. 29 aces this season, and that is another one, as the Bulldogs get a point there, 9-8. Lacasio to Mila. Played up by Cafiero. Granic will play one over. Nice job by the Dolphins. Bauchi Ansa puts one right back, and Granic slaps one down. So Brooklyn doing their best to scramble to get those balls over, and they sent one right at the top of the tape, and Granic was able to hit it home. So Cafiero will have the serve. Another tie game, 9-9 is our score. Cafiero hits the back line. Rosick plays. Both teams playing it straight over at the top. Rosick keeps it in play, and that'll be outside the wand. So the Dolphins at 10-9 have the lead once again. Cafiero sends it over. Wu plays clean to Pan. Butler sends one over. Mila to Granic. Granic cross court, but that one is out of play. And the score, once again, tied at 10. And we have a substitution as coming back in will be Paredes. Lucy Lazakova came off for Brooklyn. And Paredes, very good server for Brooklyn. 24 aces this season. But the Dolphins have won a lot of points thanks to her serve. Wong plays up for Reyes, and Reyes with a partial fan on the attack. So Brooklyn back with the lead, 11-10. Paredes taking her time, dribbles the ball, and now gets into her serve. Poorly played by Mila, but kept alive. Can the Dolphins get it over? They can. Beautiful play by Vanessa Reyes to keep things alive. Can the Dolphins continue it? Bauchi Ansa sends one over. Penn with the bump up. Lau with the cross-court attack attempt. That one goes over and blocked down, but out of play. And so Brooklyn with their first 2-point lead of the set. It's 12-10. Jaylene Paredes, once again, taking her time. Running start, puts one to the back line. Wong plays to Cafiero. Cafiero over to Reyes. Reyes just sends one over. And Brooklyn with an ugly play over the net, but they're able to score on it. And now Brooklyn with the first 3-point lead of the afternoon for either team. And getting up slowly is Paredes, and actually she will stay down here. And Paredes looks like she will receive some attention. That was a sloppy play that Brooklyn was able to get over the net. So Brooklyn with this match's first 3-point lead, 13-10. And Paredes still down. So what we will do is we will take a quick timeout while they tend to Paredes on the volleyball court. Our score is 13-10, so we will take a break, step aside. When we come back, more second set action here live from CSI. Stay with us.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
We are back here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Paredes had to leave the game for Brooklyn, and as we resume, Brooklyn has the serve. They are up by 3, 13-10. Wong puts one over, dug out by Rosick, put right back up. Brooklyn sends over. Cafiero with a quick reset over the net. Brooklyn uses it. This is Lau off of Mila. Wong can't catch up, and Brooklyn has a 4-point lead, so they get the serve back down 10-9, and they've ripped off 5 straight points to take a 14-10 lead. This is almost what happened in the first game. The Dolphins were up 10-8, ended up losing 25-15. Dolphins stuck at 10 again. Cafiero sends over. Penn to Rozek. Backline attack. Dug out cleanly by Wong, and this is Granich. Tried to drop one over and is successful. So the Dolphins break the 5-0 run and are now down by 3, 14-11. Dolphins needed that point badly. Brooklyn College ended the first set on a 17-5 run to win it. The Dolphins can really use to string together some points here. Granich to Penn. Dug out by Granich. Cafiero cross court to Mila. Mila sends it cross court to Rozek. Butler with the putback. Bumped up by Granich. Dolphins need to send it over. They do via Granich. Wu bumps it up to Penn, and it's out of play. So a set error by Monanith Penn cuts the Bulldogs lead to just 2, 14-12. Granich continues to be the server. And that's a nice serve. Sent right back over and in. Kind of a lucky break that time for Brooklyn. They had to scramble just to kind of send that one back, and they hit the back line tape. As we have a substitution here for Brooklyn, as re-entering is Kennedy High, and she will replace Helen Lau. Brooklyn up by 3, 15-12. They led by as many as 4 in this set. Dolphins have not led by more than 2 at any point in the game. Vanessa Reyes sends over. Bumped up clean. This is Butler with the attack attempt. Bumped up by Reyes. Cafiero with the pass over to Mila. Mila, and that one looked like it was tipped by Wu, and unable to play it cleanly was Kennedy High. So the Dolphins once again regain the serve, down by 2. Victoria Wong will be the server for the Dolphins. Trying to cut into this Brooklyn lead. They're down by 2, 15-13. Wong puts one into the tape, and that'll be a serve error. So another unforced error for the Dolphins gives the Bulldogs back a 3-point lead, and this will be Wu to serve. Bumped up by Granich. Cafiero with the set over to Mila. That one dug out on the back line by Wu. Sent over by Brooklyn. Nice dig by Cafiero, and Mila plays one cross court. Good job by Brooklyn to dig that one out. Rozek tried to put one over, sent over immediately by CSI. Sent over by Lacasio, and once again, Jessica Cafiero bounces it right back over. And another put back over, but that one's out of play as Cafiero put that one in too long. So the Bulldogs back up by 4. They match their biggest lead of the second set. Wu puts one into the net, so a serve error that time for Brooklyn. Gives CSI back the ball, and Vanessa Reyes will be the server. So Reyes takes her time, puts one over. Backpedaling was high, but she makes the play. Rozek with the attack attempt, and it's dropped over the front line of the Dolphins, and the Bulldogs go back up by 4. CSI needs to string together some points now. Down by 4. This will be Penn to do the serving. Granich plays clean. Dolphins with a nice attack attempt. Dug out by Wu. And sent down the line and in. Nice job by Kennedy High to put the Bulldogs up 5, 19-14. And a timeout called by the Dolphins. So CSI down by 5. They're already down 1-0. And they can really use to string together some points here. And really the turning point of both sets have been when CSI took leads. Midway through the first set, the Dolphins had themselves a 10-8 lead, and Brooklyn ended up going on a 17-5 run and winning the match 25-15. And then in this set, the Dolphins had themselves a more modest 10-9 lead. But since then, a 10-4 run by Brooklyn has really taken control of the game, 19-14. In case you joined the slate, one of Brooklyn College's best players, Jaylene Paredes, went down hard with an injury. Paredes this season with 17 kills, but a very good server with 24 service aces this season, and she's second on the team. Second on the team with 170 digs. So one of Brooklyn's best defensive players is out due to injury, and she's getting a lot of attention from the CSI training staff, so we hope she'll be okay. And when we resume action, it'll be Monanith Penn who will be our server, up by 5. In a few moments, I'll be joined by Michael Cohen on the broadcast as we get set for another year with Michael on CSI Sportsnet. The Bulldogs will have the serve. Up by 5. It's Penn putting one over to Greenwich. Cafiero catches up to it. Front line to Paulino, who errors at the front of the net. And so the Bulldogs are up by 6 and once again pulling away. Wong plays over to Cafiero, who immediately puts it over. Now Penn digs up for Rozek. Rozek, an emphatic kill, hits the top corner of the court. And once again, Brooklyn up by a touchdown, 21-14. Brooklyn with their biggest lead of this second game. As Wong bumps over to Cafiero, cross court to Mila. Mila off the fingertips of the front line for Brooklyn. It's Rozek, and she emphatically throws one down again. So Rozek, the team leader in kills and digs, starting to get hot here for the Bulldogs as Brooklyn is up by 8. Brooklyn's biggest lead overall was when they actually won the first set by 10 points. They're flirting with that one here. This is Mila, dug out by Wu. This is High with a backline attack. Dug out by Mila. She gets it back. Puts one over. Backline dig for Brooklyn. This is Rozek again, and she puts one to the back of the court. A very deceptive kill by Rozek. Doesn't look like she can really curve it in there the way she does, but what a tremendous job of attacking at the front of the net. Rozek doesn't necessarily get up high, but she's able to curve him in. 23-14, Brooklyn in control. Looking to put the finishing touches on this one. Greenwich sends one back line to Wu. Bounced up by Penn. High gets to one. The would-be dig by Mila goes out of play, and the Bulldogs have themselves officially a 10-point lead over the Dolphins, 24-14. Game point here for Penn via the serve. Since that CSI timeout, Brooklyn with 5 straight points. That one goes out of play, and that will do it for set number 2. The Brooklyn Bulldogs pull away late and take a 25-14 win in the second set to go up 2-0. So what we will do here is we will step aside, take a break. When we come back, the third set as the Dolphins try to claw their way back into this one. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Volleyball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, It's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back here to the Sports and Recreation Center. The Dolphins are down 2-0 to Brooklyn College. They need to claw their way back into this one, and I'm now joined by Michael Cohen. Michael, welcome once again to CSI Sportsnet for another year, and you were able to catch most of that second game. And you know the Dolphins have really been in to these games, but it's been Brooklyn pulling away late.
Yeah, it has been, and great to be back here, Dave, on CSI Sportsnet as we begin this third set.
Yeah, the Dolphins are able to play the serve, but that one put into the net by Sandy Mila. The Dolphins with their 16th attack error of the match. And that's where Brooklyn has really been the better team. An attack percentage of 176. The Dolphins with an attack percentage of -45. So that's been the difference here. And as I say that, Brooklyn has their first attack error of this third set. Helen Lau misplaying that one.
But overall, Brooklyn has been very aggressive. I mean, they've had 68 total attacks in this game. They've had 22 total kills. Of course, Rozek has been very, very aggressive with 7 kills, most of those near the end of that second set.
Yeah, and she has also been able to put some kills from that back line, as that time the Dolphins are able to effectively block one down and take a 2-1 lead. But this hasn't been the problem for the Dolphins. They've started strong in both matches so far, to the point where they've taken 10-8 and 10-9 leads at one point, but those have been their last leads in the respective matches. And that one is a nice block that time by Butler on the attack attempt by Reyes. So much like we've seen in the first 2 sets, they go back and forth here, and the teams split the first 4 points of this one. It's 2-2. And coming in is High for Brooklyn. High did not play in the first match. She played in the first set. She played only in the second set. Played effectively. And this is Reyes. Another nice block that time by Butler and Penn, combining for that one. So the Bulldogs have themselves a 3-2 lead.
And they've just been putting the volleyball in the right spot throughout. They did that in the second set, and they're doing it again here in the third set. Dolphins having a hard time trying to keep up to where they're going to locate that volleyball.
And Brooklyn has also done a good job via the service line. 7 aces next to just 2 errors back there, and that's how they've gotten things started. And that time, Bauchiansa able to play it off the blocking fingertips of Rozek to get the score tied again at 3.
And that's a very nice point there by Bauchiansa. Good location, too, right in between a couple of defenders there, catching Brooklyn off guard.
Her second kill of the match overall. Wu with the dig via the serve. This is Rozek, goes cross court, and Granich is able to play it, but out of bounds. So the Bulldogs get the lead back on what will be Rozek's 8th kill of the game. Easily leads all scorers. And so Wu with a 4-3 lead will do the serving. Cafiero cross court to Mila, blocked down again. And that time it was number 16, Francesca Locasio, combining with Penn for the block. Wu with the serve, and that she puts into the net. So that's Wu's second service error of the match so far, and it gives the Dolphins life here, down 5-4, with Victoria Wong, one of their most effective servers, behind the line. She puts one over, and that has the potential for an ace, and it will. So the Dolphins with only their third ace of the game overall. Ties the game up at 5. One thing, Mike, that we haven't seen is, despite the fact that the Dolphins have been involved early in matches, they really haven't been able to string a lot of points together in a row. It's been, 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3 at a time, but really haven't made that one effective run so far. As Rozek with another backline attack and is able to put one right in front of Wong to once again end that little bit of a Dolphins threat and to take the lead back 6-5.
I think part of that's because Brooklyn has played very sound defensively. They have kept the ball in play. They have set up their top setters to get kills and get attacks when needed.
So Brooklyn with the lead and the serve as Reyes puts one too long and too strong. And so the Bulldogs take a 2-point lead, 7-5 for the first time here in set number 3. So the Dolphins trying to use one. Reyes plays it over. And Rozek forced to play one to the back line. Kept alive by the Dolphins. Mila sends over, but out of play. So another unforced error, really, as Mila had to drop one in and failed to do so. So it's 8-5 now. Brooklyn with the first 3-point lead for either team. Penn with the serve, kept up by Wong. Cafiero plays it over to Paulino, who sends it over, and Brooklyn able to regroup with the attack. Locasio, I think, guilty of a carry there. Yes, it was, and so the Dolphins get themselves a point via the error. 8-6 is our score. So Reyes will serve for the Dolphins. Just about center court. She plays it to the back line, kept alive by Brooklyn. That's going to be tough to keep in play. And indeed, Dolphins will get a point out of it. So at 8-7 now, Dolphins do well, score 2 in a row to cut the lead to 1.
And this is a very important serve right here for the Dolphins. Try to get that 3rd point in a row here, tie this up.
And Reyes with a good serve, line driver that Brooklyn scrambles to get over. They do. Reyes keeps alive. Mila puts one over, cross court, bumped up by High. Rozek will have an opportunity, sends one to Granich. She keeps it alive. Now Mila tries to drop one back line. Wu does well to catch up to it. Penn and now Rozek out of play. And it's 8-8 as the Dolphins, just like you said, Mike, scoring that 3rd straight point. That's been tough for them to do all game long.
And now it's a nice job by CSI to keep that ball in play and eventually force the error by the Bulldogs. Got a tied game here. Reyes another chance here this time to give the Dolphins the lead.
Yeah, Reyes second on the team in service aces, a very good server for the Dolphins. Another line driver to the back line for High. Penn to Locasio, bumped up by Granich. Dolphins have to scramble to send it over. They do. Rozek to Penn, back over to Rozek. Off the Dolphins' fingertips, but kept alive. Granich with a backline attack. Rozek digs out. Penn. Brooklyn keeps alive. Dolphins do well. Mila down the line. Bumped up once again by Penn. Wu sends one over. Dolphins bounce it right back over. Penn to Rozek. Rozek to Granich, and too strong and out of play. So another long volley, that time won by the Bulldogs, and they take the lead back 9-8.
Still a good job by CSI. They did the best they could to keep that ball alive. Also trying to find a way to get it to drop in between some defenders here for Brooklyn. Unfortunately, just bounces off the hands of Granich, ends up being an error.
Now Brooklyn's best server, Rozek, will take control. And Cafiero plays one over the outstretched arms of Lau. And so a rare kill by Jessica Cafiero ties the game at 9. Cafiero, only 9 kills coming into the match. Picks up a big one there. Mila sends one over. Locasio drops one to the back line of the Dolphins, kept alive. Granich can't send it over, and the Dolphins lose another one via the attack error. It's 10-9 in favor of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I thought that point could go either way. The ball did hit the net, and Brooklyn did touch the net a little bit as well.
Sent over by Locascio, and the Dolphins played clean off the serve. They scramble to get to it. Mila drops one over. Penn, Lau plays it across court, kept alive by Granich, and the Dolphins can't catch up to it. A little bit out of position that time and having to make up a lot of ground was Sandy Mila. And once again, the Bulldogs go back up by 2, 11-9. Locascio. Wong bumps it up to Cafiero, to Granich, and it blocked down. Tried to keep it alive was Butler, but Dolphins will get that one via the double touch. That was a big point. Instead of getting Brooklyn up by 3, the lead cut to 1. Angelica Paulino will serve, drops that one in towards the back line. Rosick plays it up to Lau. Lau bumped up by Paulino. Now Granich, cross court, hits the back line. Lau, Penn to Rosick, and that's going to be a ball handling error as 2 touches for Penn as she tried to bump that one up. And now the Dolphins have managed to tie the game 11 apiece. Paulino, good line drive serve. Making up ground was Penn. Rosick with a nice backline attack and a poor pass that time by Angelica Paulino. She'd like to have that one back. And the Bulldogs are back up by 1. And checking back into the game is number 10, Brianna Montana for Brooklyn. She replaces Lucy Yazakova. And doing the serving will be Montana. Dolphins able to play it cleanly. Granich off the fingertips of Wu on the back line. And once again, the Dolphins stay alive and tie this one up at 12.
We haven't seen too many of those kind of errors and mistakes by Brooklyn in this game at all, especially in this set.
Yeah, that time Wu was a little bit too stationary on that back line, needed to move. Penn tried to drop one over, and the attack error. Penn tried to catch the Dolphins napping there. And Mike, for the 3rd straight game, the Dolphins have themselves a lead as they are in double digits with the lead, 13-12. Cafiero just drops one over. Rosick plays it to Butler. Butler played clean by Mila. Vanessa Reyes off the front line and off the fingertips of Butler, and it lands in play. And the Dolphins with their first 2-point lead when they've been in double digits. It's 14-12.
And not often they have caught Rosick off balance. She was off balance on that particular play. Leads to a point for CSI.
And now Lau with an emphatic kill attempt. It's kept alive by Mila. Nice job. She gets it back and is out of play as she was a little bit off balance as she hit that one. So Brooklyn is able to get it back, 14-13, as we have a substitution as Kennedy High reports back in. She will replace Helen Lau, and High will be the server. Dolphins with a modest 1-point lead. They have never led by more than 2 in the entire match. Siobhan Granich does well to send one back into Brooklyn's area. Butler, dug out by Mila. Nice job by Sandy. And now Siobhan Granich gets it over. Wu catches up to it. Penn to Rosick. Rosick is able to nurse it over. Granich, the battle with Butler, and Butler wins that one and is able to put it right over the tape to tie the game at 14. $14 apiece here. Pivotal moment of the game for both teams with Kennedy High the server. Good line drive serve, and Wong cannot control as she had to make up some ground going to her right side, and the Bulldogs have the lead back.
And I was going to say earlier that CSI can win this particular set in spite of the mistakes, but again, the mistakes just keep coming back to hurt them. It's really kept Brooklyn in this set the entire way.
Yeah, and 3 straight points for Brooklyn has put them right back in with the lead. Penn to Rosick, left-handed kill attempt. It manages to go all the way across court. No one home for the Dolphins. And now Brooklyn, thanks to a 4-0 run, are up 16-14.
If you're CSI, you just got to relax here. Can't really worry too much about the score. Obviously, down only 2. Just trying to get the point back here and get back into it.
And this is a huge point here for the Dolphins to get themselves back in. Siobhan Granich, back line attack attempt, dug out clean by Wu. Sent over. Dolphins able to play it. Granich out of play, too strong for Granich. And the Bulldogs have themselves a 3-point lead for the second time here in this particular set. Kennedy High has sent that one over too strong. So that's a pretty bad error for Brooklyn, allowing the Dolphins to kind of crawl their way back in after dropping the previous 5 points. So Dolphins now looking to cut into the Brooklyn lead. It's 17-15. Siobhan Granich puts one right to the sideline. Penn to Butler. Backhand attack dug out by Wong. Wong to Mila. No choice but to drop it over. Penn to Rozek. Rozek dug out by Wong. Siobhan Granich plays one over. Montana. Penn back to Montana. And it's out of play. So Montana was looking to flirt with that sideline and just got it over. And the Dolphins, with 2 straight points, have cut the lead to 1.
And Montana just a little bit too aggressive on that attempt at a kill back the other way.
Yeah, she wanted to play it right down the tape and just missed it. Granich, Wu to Penn, immediate putback, dug out by Granich. Nice job by her. This is Mila off the fingertips of the blocking line. Penn to Butler. Bauchiansa able to bounce it right back. And now Rozek too strong, out of play. And we have a tie score. So nice job by the Dolphins to claw their way back after being down 17-14. They've ripped off 3 straight. And it's now 17 apiece. Siobhan Granich will take her time here. A chance to put the Dolphins ahead. And that one's out of play. So too strong by Granich. Another unforced error by the Dolphins have given the lead back to Brooklyn. So the Dolphins just can't seem to get over that final hump, Mike.
No, they can. That's a second straight one by Granich. This time a serve in which he had the ball go out of bounds just a little bit too hard on the relay back over the net.
Dolphins now once again trying to tie. Mila sends one up. Dug out by High. Rozek, that time a right-handed attempt. Dug out by Granich. This is Mila and touched by Wu. I think Wu at the last second wanted to let it go, Mike, but when she tried to pull her hand back, she caught a piece of the ball. And
yeah, she probably felt that had a chance to go out of bounds and be a point for Brooklyn. You're right, she tried to pull a little bit too late. As a result, leads to a point for the Dolphins.
And a kill for Sandy Mila at that, so Wong will now serve. Once again, the Dolphins trying to get over the hump and get the lead here late. Rozek plays it just over the tape and kept alive by the Dolphins. Fortunate play for Brooklyn, but kept alive. And now Brooklyn can use it, the attack. Locasio, dug out by Granich. Cafiero, back pass to Reyes, and a mistouch by Montana. And now the Dolphins do have that decisive lead late in a set for the very first time. And the Dolphins are up 19-18. This is the latest they've ever led.
And perhaps Brooklyn thinking about the sweep as well, maybe overplaying things just a little bit right now.
So Wong sends one cross court to Wu, kept up by Penn. Rozek, dug out by Wong. Nice job by the Dolphins to keep things alive. They have to send it over. They do. Penn to Rozek, and that one hits the tape, and that's in play. Line judge not making any calls back there, Mike.
No.
So left, but that was in play for sure. 19-19 is our score. So Brooklyn has managed to tie the game at 19. Decisive point here as Reyes sends back line, and looked like Penn and Wu were both in the area, Mike, and looked like Penn bounced it off of her fist and out of play as we have a timeout called by Brooklyn. So with CSI winding down to their final 5 points, Brooklyn bench wants to talk things over.
And they want to settle things down here. They've had a few volleys go off of their hands here and lead to kills for the Dolphins. And they've also been a little bit too aggressive, I think, at times on some of these serves, and even aces going back over.
Yeah, you know, and you got to understand, too, that as good as Brooklyn has looked in this match, Mike, this is a team that they, too, have only won 4 games all season. So they're looking to build on some positive momentum. So the Brooklyn coaches, understanding that they have a 2-0 lead, still want to make sure their team plays crisp here and effective, and they have a chance here to close this out in 3 sets. They want to make the most of that opportunity. And the one thing, that 4 and 13 teams don't want to do is they don't want to let their opponents or give them opponents momentum, and that's seemingly what Brooklyn has done with some unforced errors of their own as well. So CSI will look to use this momentum to get themselves back to within 2-1 in the match, and from there you never know what can happen, as Reyes is the server. And earlier in this match, Reyes served the Dolphins into 4 straight points to get back into things. Now with a big opportunity here as the horn's about to sound, and it does, and we're back in play. Dolphins with a 20-19 lead, and the serve. Reyes puts it over. Nice job as that one went off of Wu. Penn played over. Dolphins looking to use it. Reyes sends over. Wu to Penn. Lacasio dug out by Granich. Cafiero to Mila. Bounced down, kept alive. Dolphins have to send it over, and they just won't be able to. Dolphins did a nice job trying to catch up to that one, but Granich off balance couldn't get it over. And now Helen Lau returns for Brooklyn, and so Brooklyn now with a little bit of positive momentum. They've tied the game, and they have their best server behind the line. Rosick, who came into the game with 40 aces on the season, gets another. And that's a huge one right there, as Rosick with her first ace of the match, number 41 for the season. And the Bulldogs are 4 points away. Cross court to Mila. That time does well to bounce it up. She's going to get it back. Plays it back line to Rosick. To Penn. To Lacasio. Emphatic attack right there at the front line. And the Bulldogs have a 22-20 lead. And after scoring 3 straight points of their own, Jason Matson wants to talk things over for the Dolphins.
And one thing that I noticed in that series of events there, first of all, on the serve by Rosick, the 2 serves, they have a tendency to have a spin on them, and they also go down very low. That's why Mila had a hard time catching up to that. And that's one thing that has been common for Brooklyn so far in this match overall, is that they have hit the ball very hard and hit it low. It's been very hard for CSI to catch up to it. Yeah, and Rosick continues with the serve, and she's 3 points away from giving her team a 3-0 win over the Dolphins. Dolphins need a big point here. Running jump serve for Rosick. Played clean by Granich, but right at the net, and the Dolphins are able to scramble and get it over. Nice job by the CSI defense. Played over by Brooklyn. Cafiero to Mila. Mila down the tape. Dolphins playing it over again, and they're unable to play it off the net. Seemed like the Dolphins were a little bit unlucky as they were scrambling to try and get to that ball, but now Brooklyn with 4 straight points are up by 3, and this is a must point here for the Dolphins. Rosick, another running jump serve, back line too strong, and Brooklyn giving it back here, and CSI with their best server now behind the service line, Sandy Mila. Guilty of a lot of serve errors this season, Mike, but she's also has the capability of putting some direct line drives over for points. And that was a huge unforced error by Brooklyn to keep CSI involved.
Brooklyn is able to play Helen Lau, and Brooklyn's going to hit it 4 times, and that's going to give the point to the Dolphins. So a huge point gets CSI back to within 1. Mila served very effectively last time, a nice line driver, and that time she puts one into the net. That is a huge error by the Dolphins at a critical moment in the match. 24-22 now. Brooklyn with match point, and number 16 Lacasio,
who has had 4 kills today, also 12 total attacks and 1 service ace.
Yep, she's second on the team in aces. Drops that one into Mila. Cafiero keeps it alive. Granich, and it's batted straight down and in by Lucy Yazakova, and Brooklyn College able to come back in the 3rd set and win this one 3-0 by scores of 25-15, 25-14, and 25-22.
I'll say that for CSI, is a valiant effort to try to come back there in the 3rd set after dropping the first two sets where they had a lead early on. But unfortunately for Brooklyn, they used their size. They also played very, very sound defense to go ahead and get that win. As they played a great job, and they get the job done 25-22. Lucy Yazakova with the winner. That's her 23rd kill of the year. And I thought, Dave, a very impressive showing by Brooklyn here today.
Yeah, no, very impressive for a team that came in, just 4-13 and struggling of their own. They seemed to me like the crisper, more confident team. They didn't panic when they were down, and for the Dolphins, it's going to probably go down as a failed opportunity, Mike. A match where they were actually leading in all three sets, 10-8 in the first set, 10-9 in the second set, and then late 18-17 in the third set, and all three go down as losses. So, we've seen in many different sports, Mike, how teams, fail to hold on to leads and end up, and, that could be a very frustrating thing that ends up dictating how an entire season goes. And, the Dolphins, they have to come back and play a little bit later on this afternoon, fully knowing that they had themselves some opportunities in this one. We'll see if they can regroup and play effectively and crisp against Medgar Evers College, a team that on paper anyway they should really have an easier time with. But Dolphins right now, Mike, with that loss, they get down into 7th place in the CUNY standings, and just like that, they're on the outside of the playoffs looking in. So the game against Medgar Evers now becomes an absolute must-win for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it really does. They have got to come out there and get a win. I know Medgar Evers is 0-18 right now, but you never want to take those teams that are still looking for their first win too lightly. You want to come out here, play good volleyball, make sure you try not to have too many unforced errors, which the Dolphins had a lot of here in that, especially in that third set, and find a way to hold on to the lead. But really look at the Dolphins' schedule here in October, Dave. They have a lot of games here at the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. A great opportunity for them to make some hay and get back into this.
Absolutely. So what we are going to do, Mike and I will step aside and officially end this afternoon's first broadcast, and then we will be back on the air for Brooklyn against Medgar Evers. Now, in case you're joining us and are seeking more information on when that second game will start, right now officially 43 minutes between matches. But, of course, if Medgar Evers College decides that they don't need all of this warm-up time, obviously Brooklyn's ready to go. That could be less. So what we will do is we will try and come back onto the air as quickly as we can, and we're just actually going to stay on the air to see how much time they're going to put on the clock here, Mike. I think they have a determination on how much time they will put on, and then we will let our viewers know, and then we will go from there. So let's see what they decide to put on the clock here. They're going to put 30 minutes on. So what Mike and I will do is we will step aside for about 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes from now we'll get you ready for our second game of the afternoon between Medgar Evers College and Brooklyn College, live here from the College of Staten Island. So once again, our final score here, Brooklyn 3, the Dolphins nothing. When we come back, it'll be game 2 between CSI and, between Brooklyn College and Medgar Evers, and then later on today, Medgar against the College of Staten Island. For Meshach Alexander, for Michael Cohen, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a good afternoon, and we'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.